Hello everyone, Randy here, and we're playing Farming Simulator 17 on Estancia Lapacho, the Platinum DLC map here, again on the RDAllen multiplayer server. And like I mentioned last episode, oh, you know what, I probably should fill this here first. We're going to plant some more sugarcane here. And I believe we can now fill this from our sugarcane harvester here from the trailer there, so that'll save us the money and time to go down and get some. Like I said, field 14 here is needing to be plowed after the current harvest here that's on this field. So we'll just put it on field 1 here just to make things a little bit different here. Let's see what's here. Oh, quite mean to do that. Let's back up a little bit closer here. I'm assuming it'll fill from this trailer anyway. I noticed the pipe goes over to it, so that's rather interesting. Oh, that's a little too close. We got a trailer load here. Ah, perfect. Took a little over half of that. I don't remember how long this lasts. I think you got to fill it up like 2 or 3 times, at least for field 14 here. And field 1, I think, is about the same size, so. Got the old plane in there. And as somebody pointed out, no runway on the map. But as somebody else pointed out, it's South America. You don't need no stinking runway, apparently. Okay, then. Single row planter here, by the way. Yay. 1.4 meters. Let's see, no offset. Perfect. So, yes, this is a bit of a time-consuming process here. Obviously, you got the 2-row planter. How much is the 2-row planter? Just out of curiosity. Oh, under sugarcane here. 85,000. We're not going to be affording that. 2 meters, 220 horsepower. Yeah, not quite. We got 180 horsepower here, which it'll probably pull it, but it's probably stretching it. I guess we'll stick with the 1 row for now. Anyway, just a reminder again, if you'd like to join us on the multiplayer servers, information is in the description below. Again, if you want to join us on here, this is Server 2, and of course you will need the Platinum DLC. And of course, if this isn't your style, then of course we do have a Server 1 there, Who Dat, Who There. Quite a nice map as well, if you ask me. And then Server 3, La Botte de Monday. That is our old iron server there. Again, we got all the old iron packs on there. Again, some really nice equipment on that server, if you ask me. Probably almost maybe get away with setting this at 2 meters, I wonder. Yeah, well, maybe not. Kind of has the potato texture to it. That's the type of texture it seems to put down here for the sugarcane, as you can probably notice here. And this particular seeder does seed and fertilize, so that's kind of nice. Get fertilizer as well here. Not really sure how this is considered single row, even though, you know, it doesn't quite doesn't quite line up with the textures. Always fun too here. Remember what GPS line you need to be on. Seeing how it is, it's so narrow. A billet planter. Australian owned, Australian manufactured. Interesting. Using that in South America here, apparently. Never actually noticed that. There's a lot of moving parts there. That's kind of cool. See some gears and some chains. Oh, even one back here that's turning something. Yeah, you can definitely tell Giants definitely put some nice amount of detail into it. You can definitely tell here in 17, Giants is definitely working a lot harder on putting detail into their equipment. I mean, even this tractor has a nice amount of detail in it. You can even see under the cab there. On this side as well. Oh, I just happened to notice something here. I was just looking at this fuel tank there, I'm assuming. I don't see any DEF on it. Interesting. I wonder, something not required in South America. Also, we got a field of canola over there. And for those who watched last episode, we didn't quite get to selling the canola there. I figured we better wait until that field's harvested. Otherwise, we sell that and the price is going to go down. And seeing as how we're selling it with a train, we can sell it all at once there. So I'll have to wait. I don't know if I'll be able to get that on video or not. Or maybe a live stream, we'll see once. But yeah, we'll have to wait till that field's harvested there before I want to sell the canola. So that's why we didn't do anything with the train there last episode. And like I've said in the past here, again, if you want to join us on the multiplayer servers, like I said, information is in the description. And we do ask that you do have to join us on TeamSpeak. So if you want to join us, you need to join us on TeamSpeak. Again, TeamSpeak is free and a microphone is not required. And of course, all the information for the Farming Sim servers is in TeamSpeak. The passwords for the servers, where to find the servers, as well as download links for the mods for the servers. And again, we do have download all links. We'll download all the mods needed to join the server. Also, a link to the server download page. You can download the mods individually. You know, that's good if you only have a couple of mods. And with that as well, anyone is welcome to join. Like I said, as long as you can play nicely and follow the rules. Rules can be found in TeamSpeak as well. You know, just some basic rules, nothing too fancy. And of course, keep in mind too, if you do want to play with us on the multiplayer servers, you do need to have the latest update to Farming Simulator, the 1.5.1 patch. Of course, if you have the Steam version, your game should be automatically updated. But if you have the non-Steam version, you do need to manually update. And you can find that right on the Giants website there. So make sure you install the 1.5.1 patch. The 1.5.1 patch is also required for the Platinum DLC. So something to keep in mind, if you don't have the Platinum DLC yet and you want to get it, make sure you have the 1.5.1 patch. The 1.5.1 patch is actually what adds Sugarcane into the game. And then, of course, the Platinum DLC adds the equipment to process, plant, harvest the sugarcane. So you do need both. And sugarcane is slowly being added to modded maps as well, by the way. And I haven't looked. I'm assuming it's probably in Goldcrest and Sosnovka as well. They probably both have sugarcane, I would assume. I haven't actually, like I said, looked at that, so I don't know that for sure. Okay, we're making very quick progress. Okay, never mind. We're making progress on the field here. Slowly but surely, 1.4 meters at a time. We probably won't do this for the whole episode here. We might hire a worker at some point. Maybe we'll go harvest some sugarcane or something. This might get a little boring after a while. One nice thing, you can hire a worker on it. Hired worker does seem to actually work quite well with this, somewhat surprisingly. Doesn't miss huge swaths or nothing like that, at least from what I've noticed so far. And of course, still trying to save up for another field here. We didn't do so good at that last episode. Ended up buying some equipment, a larger cultivator and a fertilizer spreader. The fertilizer spreader, I would argue, is definitely needed. Maybe didn't need the cultivator quite so much, but definitely probably a good purchase there on the fertilizer spreader. Could have maybe purchased a cheaper one, but we got a nice large fertilizer spreader, and at least for the sugarcane here, I didn't actually notice that before. I haven't really paid that close attention to it, but yes, looks like you do need to fertilize it after you harvest it. So something to keep in mind there. Obviously, fertilizing again, I believe it's actually 90%, so it doesn't quite double your yield, but almost doubles the yield when you fertilize, so definitely want to do that. Also, I'll have to say I'm rather amused at the number of people that are complaining about the sugarcane equipment that came with the game here, how small it is. A lot of people complaining about that, and I find that rather amused. A lot of people were really hyping up the Platinum DLC, you know, with sugarcane and whatnot, and then when it came out, everybody was quite annoyed at the size of the equipment. I'd point out, if you paid attention to the Platinum DLC, you would have realized it was going to be small equipment here for sugarcane, which technically, again, not really small equipment. It is actually large equipment, just it's not very wide. Sugarcane equipment isn't exactly huge equipment to begin with. It's kind of like root crops in the game here, though arguably maybe a little bit worse. Only 1.4 meter here. You know, and a 1 meter harvester technically. Although, again, with a harvester with GPS, you can get away with 1.4, I've noticed. You might even be able to get away with a little bit more. I don't know. But, yes, like I said, just kind of amusing to the number of people that were really hyped for sugarcane and the Platinum DLC here, but now that it's out and they have the equipment, the hype has quickly left the building. Anyway, let's maybe just hire a worker here. Let's go ahead and harvest some sugarcane then. Oh, you're just, yeah, we're waiting for that crop to grow there, aren't we? Okay. Oh, this trailer was full. We'll fill it back up here. So yeah, this field has been fertilized. I think it took like 4 passes before to fill the trailer up, if I recall correctly. So I'll be curious to see how many passes it takes this time around, now that it is fertilized. Also, I'm not 100% sure on this, but it seems like it takes a long time for sugarcane to grow the first time, but the second and third and times thereafter, it seems like it grows much quicker. You can see this part has regrown already. I think it's only been like a couple of in-game hours here, and that's already grown to that stage. Yeah, and the particle effects back here again. Interesting. I'd imagine there'll probably be an update from Giants at some point that'll probably fix that, or break it worse, maybe I should say. So yeah, this bit here is what I harvested to fill this trailer up so we could fill the planter. That's why this little bit here is harvested already. %90 already, so yeah, definitely seems like this is filling up much quicker. Let's see, is the trailer? Yeah, trailer and tractor's over there. Good. Looks like maybe one more load in the trailer. We'll probably have this trailer full here as well. See what kind of a sell price we can get for this. You know, again, obviously Sugarcane has a low sell price, but definitely a very high volume for the amount you get off the field. It's a high yielding crop. However, it's also a crop I would argue that takes quite a bit of work as well, at least with a 1.4 meter harvester. There we go. And pull this tractor back out of the way. You can just squeeze in there with this trailer to empty, by the way. Okay, back in the sugarcane harvesting business here. And, you know, that's something a lot of people seem to miss with the pricing here in Farming Simulator. You know, a lot of people just go look at the, not the right one, this one. Okay, well, hey, soybeans. They sell for the most, so they must be the most profitable. And a lot of people seem to forget, yeah, they might be the most, sell for the most, but they are probably the lowest yielding. So actually all the prices in the game here are actually, when you factor in the yield for them, are actually about the same. At least on non-modded maps. You know, modded maps might have a slight, you know, if the mod authors changed it up a little bit, might vary slightly, but most of the crops actually, by time, like I said, by the time you factor in the yield, are going to pay you about the same amount. It's what it probably comes down to more is the amount of work you got to put into for said crops. You know, obviously, like wheat or barley, much higher yield. It's going to be a little bit more work to harvest it, a little more work to transport it. That's what it really comes down to. Oh yeah, we're definitely filling up much, much quicker here. Like I said, I would argue twice as fast. I think it was 4 passes before. Looks like it's going to be 2 now. We're already half full. Going to mean a lot more trips here. Emptying this, though. So yeah, basically with a plowed field here and fertilized, then you should actually double the yield. You know, again, once we're done harvesting here, I think we might as well just cultivate this field under. Like I said, it does need to be plowed, so you know, maybe just turn this into a crop field, mix things up just a little bit. Almost full here again. And I do have drive controls 100% mode on, so that means it'll stop once the trailer's 100% full. That way I don't accidentally keep going. A little insurance policy there, obviously. There we go, full again. This should fill up the trailer here as well. Speaking of which, the transport, looks like the transport company has the best price again. Okay. And by best price, we don't really mean that good of a price at all, but oh well. If it's going to the transport company, we'll see once if we can actually store it at the train depot there then. Supposedly you can. I have not actually tried that yet, but yep, I guess we're full. Make sure you tip this back over, by the way. Otherwise, it will actually just tip it straight on the ground and make a mess. which means you'll have to clean up said mess at some point. Yeah, probably should have a larger tractor on this, but oh well. I think the Star ST180 is probably the largest tractor here. The Case is probably the second largest. One nice thing about this trailer, it does have a fairly large capacity on it. Quite surprising from Giants here. The one probably large piece of sugarcane equipment we do have. A large capacity trailer. Okay, let's see what's wrong. Will that empty into here? It appears it will. At least I don't see nothing showing up on the ground, so... Okay, we probably have another 2 trailers off that field there, I bet, by the time we're all said and done harvesting. And by trailers, I mean, you know, the big trailers here, not the small ones. At the rate we're going anyway. I was debating maybe seeing if we could lease the self-propelled sugarcane harvester. But that's probably not the wisest of ideas. At least in my opinion, for leasing, it's probably good if you're leasing a piece of equipment you don't plan on keeping. But for a piece of equipment you plan on keeping, you're probably better off buying it. So probably should buy the sugarcane harvester rather than lease it. Even though it would be kind of nice to have a self-propelled larger sugarcane harvester. At least that's just my opinion on the leasing anyway. Like I said, good for equipment you don't plan on keeping long term, but if you plan on keeping it long term like we probably would for the sugarcane harvester, probably not the wisest of choices. Double check and maybe see how the planter is doing here a moment. He is making progress. Gonna have to be filled up here fairly soon too. Looks like both sugarcane and fertilizer. It's good. We're still harvesting yet. We'll have to just make sure we hang on to enough here. We can fill the seeder up again. We still got quite a bit on the field here, so I don't think we got to worry about that. One mod we have added on the server here, by the way, for those of you who want to join us on the server here, at least recently, is the game extension mod. For those who are not familiar with that, it's just kind of a helpful little mod. It does a bunch of different things. One of the biggest things it does on the multiplayer server here is it skips the night. It fast forwards time through the night, so that is a really nice feature there for multiplayer. At least, you know, if an admin say isn't on, it will automatically skip the night for you, so I don't know what the setting's at. I guess I can't open it at the moment. But yeah, it'll just, it does a single player, by the way, as well. So if you want to use it single player, it will automatically skip the night for you, at least if you set it up. So that's kind of a cool little option there. It does a whole bunch of other little things as well. Hired workers and chainsaw, restricts chainsaw usage on multiplayer servers. So kind of all little, like I said, options and nice stuff there it adds. Okay. I think that's the GPS line we got to have here. Like I said, it is really hard to tell at times what GPS line you need to have. Again, just the way the crops line up sometimes. It doesn't exactly, because we're using such small equipment here, it doesn't exactly line up perfectly. And for those of you more familiar with how Farming Simulator handles this in the back end, you can probably explain it better than what I can. Basically, to my understanding here, this map has a resolution to it. Meaning each area here is determined by 1 pixel in a density map. So there's can only be so much resolution on the map here, and that's what we're running into here with this small equipment. Or narrow width, not really small equipment, but narrow width. We're running into the amount of resolution that is available on the density map. So that's why things might be shifted over a little more or less than what they look like they should be, and it's not exactly lining up. You know, obviously in the game here, you know, it looks like we have a large amount of resolution, but behind the scenes, and, you know, as far as the what the back end's doing, there's actually not as much. And we are full. Nope, that one. Again, these trailers are controlled by mouse controls or loader controls. I know that's something that got me the first time I used it. Like, wait a minute, how does this work? Oh, yeah, mouse control. Wasn't quite expecting that from Giants. Still pretty cool, though, if you ask me. Okay, back again for another round. So that's what, about a round and a half or so it takes to fill up the trailer here. So like I said, much quicker now that it's fertilized. Again, you can see that hopefully on the map here. And again, also needs to be plowed as well. Somebody said that sugarcane does not regrow after it's been harvested 3 times. I'm pretty sure this field has been harvested 3 times here now. I could be wrong on that, but as you notice, it is regrowing. What it is doing, however, though, is it needs to be plowed. So, not sure on the entire needing to be replanted after 3 harvests or not. Can't necessarily confirm that. But yeah, again, like I said, I'm not 100% sure this field has been harvested 3 times. I'm pretty sure it has been, but I could be wrong on that. I'm pretty sure what I'm doing right here is the 3rd time it's been harvested. And in fact, you know what? We can prove that. It's being, it shows it needs to be plowed. So that means it's been harvested 3 times. Because plowing is after 3, periodic plowing's 3 times. So if you ask me, that means this field's been harvested 3 times. So as you can see, it is regrowing. Anyway, folks, looking at the time, looks like it is time to wrap up the episode. So just a reminder again, you want to join us and harvest some sugarcane. Information's in the description there below. Of course, make sure you have the Platinum DLC. Again, we do have the Horse DLC, if you want to call it that, on the server here as well. Definitely a really nice pack. The Horse DLC, by the way, is completely free. Don't have to pay for that one. And, of course, you can find that in the mod list. And, of course, if you join us on the server, too, the Horse pack is part of the downloads. The Platinum DLC is not. You have to have the Platinum DLC. The Platinum DLC does not come as part of the server downloads. And again, like I said, we do ask that you will join us on the TeamSpeak server if you want to join us on here. Again, just a way to cut down on the troublemakers that join the server, as well as makes it for a much better experience for you as well. I would say a much easier way of communication. So anyway, with that, if you folks have any comments or questions, be sure to leave them below. And as always, thanks for watching, and until next time.